So here at Ngozi Talk Shows, Find Your Own Voice, Lead from Within. With me today, I have Amanda Murray and Grant Morel. How are you guys?
Good.
Fine, all fine here, ready to go.
Awesome, awesome. So our topic today is how to be yourself, the art of being you. So welcome to the family, Ngozi Talk Shows family. In this captivating and insightful video, we're going to dive into the fascinating topic of self-discovery and authenticity. So join us as we explore to be yourself, the art of being you, and uncover the secret of embracing your true authentic self. So Grant, you chose this topic, and I'm sure our audience would like to find out why did you choose the topic and the motivation behind it, please.
Thank you, Nomsa. Yeah. So recently I was hosting a 3-day workshop for people, and you've got people from all over the world coming in, with their business ideas, their philanthropic ideas, and of course the challenges, etc., comes in, and they grow. They go through a series of things. They learn about the business structure, they learn about their mindset, they learn about teams, and it goes all the way through. So I give a prize for the person who really gives their most, really gives their all. They follow the structure, and we layer in rules. Okay. And there's a reason we do it. We like to see if people are coachable, whether they can follow the system. Okay. If they do, we give them a prize for that, because the ones who do it get more out of it. Okay. That's the reason we do it. So in doing so, I'm scanning. There's maybe 100, 120 people, 130 people. I'm scanning constantly, looking for the best one to win the prize with a list of criteria. Some people, they don't listen. Well, some people do listen. Some people want to be big, but they're posturing. They're trying to look me. They want to have all the answers. They want to be big. They want to elevate themselves. They've got a lot of ego. Some haven't. One person stood out who was absolutely outstanding. Modest, camera on all the time, engaging, not egotistical. This person didn't seem to care whether they got picked to speak or not. I looked at them and I became fascinated by this person. And I looked at them. What's going on with them? Even when I was eating on camera. There was, I was just before we started, actually, but they were eating on camera, and they wasn't trying to be super tidy. And it occurred to me that this person was completely and utterly comfortable in their skin. So it led me to look a little bit deeper. Who is this person? What do they do? And I got talking to them. And yes, they've had challenges. And they've learned how to overcome them. And they have a unique blend of looking what's already around them and how that can influence them to have a total loving relationship with themselves, to accept themselves, be themselves, and interact with other people with no ego whatsoever. And it occurred to me that this would be a good theme for us, because when you're like that, it's magnetic. It's absolutely magnetic. It draws people to you. You have a certain confidence, inner calmness and confidence that you just can't buy. But if you got it, it's special quality, and it draws people to it. Now, whether that's going to be a life partner, whether it's going to be a business partner or an employer, the choice is yours. But the point is, you become your X factor. And that's where I wanted to begin today's show. Nomsa.
What about you, Amanda?
Well, I love how you talked about like that person that's just like unapologetically themselves. And I love speaking about people who are unapologetically themselves, because you can just feel it. You can feel that they just are like, this is me, like it or not, here I am. And when you have that confidence and you know that it's like true, authentic self, not that ego that you're speaking about too, then you can feel it. You can feel the difference between what is ego and what is authenticity. And people pick up on that. And when you are speaking from an ego state, then whoever's hearing that is picking up that ego mentality as well. But when you're speaking from an authentic state, people also even subconsciously pick up on it as well, because they could be saying the exact same things, but the person speaking from the ego, you're going to pick up on body language cues or facial expression cues that are going to your brain might not consciously recognize it, but subconsciously you're going to recognize that this person's speaking from ego and this person's speaking from authenticity. And you won't know why, but you'll be more drawn to the person who is authentic, unless you're stuck in this state of like, I want to be the best. I don't care. I'm going to model other people, and I'm going to not truly step into my own power. I'm going to just act like the other people that are doing that. Then you'll be more drawn to that egocentric state. But when you are coming from a very authentic space, you'll be more drawn to authentic people. And I remember one time, one of my friends came out to my parents' cabin. This was before I set boundaries with my parents. And one of my friends who's completely unapologetically herself. And when they left, my mom's like, she's weird. I'm like, no, she has no ifs, ands, or buts about her. She is authentically her. And that's what I absolutely love about her. And I strive to be more like her in that respect, not to be like her, because I don't have tattoos everywhere and everything like that. But I strive to be as unapologetically myself as she is. And that's something that I just love about that person, is that I have people in my life who are unapologetically themselves. And I think that's the most powerful person you could possibly be, is unapologetically yourself. And so that art of being yourself is really like a lifelong journey in some respects, because who you authentically are today is different than who you authentically were 10 years ago, or who you're authentically going to be in 10 years if you continue to grow and step into your power each and every day. If you keep trying to act like somebody else or model somebody else, then it happens in dating too. I'm sure you see this, Nomza, where people act the way that they think that the partner that they're trying to get wants them to act. And then when they start showing their true colors and their true you, their true them, people are like, whoa, who is this? That happens with narcissism, which is what happened in my marriage, is the person mirrored who I wanted them to be. And then the true person was not the person that showed up. And so that's something that is something you want to recognize too, is what is mirroring. When are people mirroring you, especially in romantic relationships, because that's something that shows up quite often, is where people will not be authentically themselves. They'll be on their best behavior for this first 6 months or year, or even 2 years in that what do they call it, infatuation stage. And then once the infatuation stage is over and the devaluating stage comes, then you start to see the real person, and the person who was mirroring what you wanted isn't there anymore. So that's also for the person who's experiencing the other side of that, is to know, okay, who am I authentically, and what do I stand for, and what will I put up with? And when those cracks in that other personality start to show up, you can say, no, this isn't what I signed up for, right? Because you know what you authentically want, and you know that if you are seeking a partner, then you need to show up as your authentic self each and every time, right? And even say, like, I've had a bad day. Even if you're going out on a date, I've had a bad day, but I'm going to try to make the best of today, or make the best of the rest of the day, right? And even yesterday at work, our kids were skiing on a ski trip, and I had 2 kids or 3 kids in total between the 2 classes that went home in slings.
Oh, God.
And I was like, you just had to make the best of it. So the one kid that's really upset, I just made a joke. It made her smile. And then she laughed for the rest of the time. And it just was breaking that, like, how can we make better of not happy things sometimes, and sometimes that's just authentically stepping into your power too, is when you can make light of a hard situation, and then it just allows everybody else in the room to feel a bit lighter too.
You're right. If you make it, as I once said, just jumping in a minute, as I once said to someone, you know, if it's a problem and you think it's a problem, you'll project it as a problem. If you make, like, I've seen some of the best things in stage performances go wrong, and people sit there and go, but I've seen them just say, "Hey guys, oh wow, what a day, huh?" And they just laugh about it. And when you do, everybody, you look at the audience, their shoulders just drop. It's you giving them permission to relax. And it is just, I mean, so what? Things go wrong. Yeah. Who's never had anything go wrong in the book? It's not the end of the world. So just roll with it. And when you do it, the whole world relaxes. You must lead from the front. And just, you know, when people are fearful, when people are egotistical, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're feeling, you're projecting. But your story, Amanda, did make me laugh about, you know, when people pretend to be like their partner. Of course, the opposite can be true. So there's a lesson here not to try to change your partner too much, because there's the joke, isn't there, that, you know, a guy dates a lady and she said, "Oh yeah, it's not. I don't know why you wear that color. It doesn't really suit you. You know, you should wear this color." And he goes, "Okay, so you should buy." And he gets a different color shirt to suit her. And then she said, "I don't know why you eat that food. It's not really. You should eat this food." So he changes his food. And she said, "This TV program's not really the right program. You should watch this, but it'd be a better program for you." So he watches it. "Your habits are different. You should get a different car." And he gets a different car. Then she said, "I don't know how well the relationship's going. It's like things have changed. It's like you're not the guy I once met." And he goes, so, be careful. Nob's just laughing. "Are you that lady?" I wonder. But no, seriously, you've got to let people be who they are to some extent. Yes, we all try to improve ourselves, but I think one of the best things you can do to save time is to be yourself. I mean, sure, if you've got some nasty habits that need cleaning up, yeah, then do that. But if you're a decent person, if you're a good person, and like you say, being yourself does not mean to say being arrogant, not giving a damn about other people. It doesn't mean that at all. It means being very respectful to people, having a, but because your ego is so under control, you've got nothing to prove. And I've seen this time and time again. Some of the most successful people I've ever seen are like that, because they've got nothing to prove. And the more you've got nothing to prove, the more attractive that is in life, in business, in partnerships, in anything. Because people can see you're not trying to project something onto me. You just are. You're in a state of just being. And that's a wonderful thing. Why is it wonderful? Because not many people have it, but most people want it. If you see someone who's generally got it, they stand out from the crowd. So the question is, could that be you? Is it something worth having? Do you know how to get it? What's the benefits of having it? So that's where we are. Nomsa, what do you think? You're looking there with quiet contemplation as Amanda and I have been speaking. What's going through that steely mind of yours?
Oh yeah, I love this topic. This topic is just is everything, actually, the art of being you, because some people pretend to be something they're not, like Amanda, like you said, about your friend, that your mom was like, "She's weird," and they were like, "No, that's really her." There's a girl, she's called Nicola. She's a speaker. I met her at Des O'Connor. She said that as well, that she worked on herself and decided to be happy all the time. And people think she's on drugs because she's so nice and she's so kind. Honestly, she was like, when I talk to people and just trying to get to know somebody, people would think that I'm on drugs. They're like, "What are you on?" Or and she's like, "This is the world where people expect, even your own friends, they will expect you to behave the same way like they behave." Even in the dating industry, is big. Like I meet clients, and sometimes they tell me what they think that I need to hear. So I'm like, actually, can I really meet the real you? And or sometimes you find a guy that is wealthy, and they think that because they are wealthy, every woman should fall for them. You shouldn't have to try hard. You'd be like, Anomsa, I have money. Or why should I work hard to? I'm like, can we not talk about the money? Really talk about what do you really want? What do you desire? What is missing in your life? Because money is already there. So let's focus on what is really missing, because if you use money to get a girl, you find the wrong girls. And even with the women, you find that they hide behind the makeup. They'll pretend to be something that they are not when they meet guys. And at the end of the day, that guy is not really interested in that other person that you think they are. They just want to meet the real you. And because the real you will show up 6 months later or 3 months later, and the poor guy or the poor woman will be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is not the girl that I met, or this is not the man that I met. And then that's where relationship falls apart. And that was the main thing that helped me to get into personal development, where I just needed to understand the art of being me, because I look at my childhood and my adulthood, something had changed. And I needed to find out what has changed. I became a follower. I follow people's behavior, people's character, how people dress, you name it. If my friends shows up, they're wearing this thing, I like it. The next week I show up, I'm wearing something similar. The way they speak. We had a business event with Des, Me, I Love God. And I was talking, God is part of me. In order for me to find a man, God was part of me to build my business. So I was talking deep how life in general, teaching my clients. And there were other speakers there. And the other speaker that was working with me, she was really good. Hope Spring Italian Introduction Agency. She was so good. The girl on my profile with Des, she was so good. We were just doing practical things. So as soon as because I was on stage for 1 hour, so I came out. And then one of the speakers followed me and said, Nomsa, when you talk, can you not talk about God? Because not everybody else is a Christian. So I was like, but that's part of me. Anyone that does not want me to mention God, it can go out. It's part of me. That's my identity. While we are busy, she's busy telling me what not to do. The audience are crying inside. So then we all go in and somebody says, Nomsa, can you come back? And then I'm like, why are they crying? And this guy stands up first and says, we're crying. For me personally, I'm crying because I came here hoping to get the dating tips and go home. But it seems like you've gone deep and touched my heart. I feel that there are some things that I need to work on myself. I need to be me. And then the other one is going off, and the other one is going off, and Des is like, and now we're trying to comfort, because the people thought when they were coming, they thought it was going to be, dating tips, how to meet a woman. But we were going we were doing practical things, the consequences of not being you when you are in the dating scene, the consequences of living a life like not being authentic. So we were demonstrating the feelings, how it leaves a person, it leaves a person feeling. And in the audience were crying. And then it made me realize, actually, sometimes the people can actually talk you out of who you are meant to be. And I said to her, how do you feel now that you were asking me outside not to talk about the way my identity? And she said, I take it back. She was like, I take it back. I'm sorry. So the reason why I'm sharing this for every audience that is watching, is very, very important. Like Amanda and Grant were saying, that being authentic and not having ego and being humbled, humble yourself. And unapologetic, Grant, you mentioned the story of somebody buying a car and then being judged. And then somebody says, wow, and the behavior, your behavior is changed, your this has changed. People decide to change because they feel that they are not living authentic. And for me, I love that person, that unapologetic, they are authentic. If they like to walk in barefoot, walk in barefoot. If it makes you happy, it's sexy summertime, just do it. You want to dance in the rain, go and do it. No, instead of like just being a follower, like how you post on Facebook or how we speak here. You just have to be you. I always say to the speakers, or if the guest comes in, I'm like, please, can you be you? If you're sitting with your cup of coffee talking, if that makes you happy, just be you. There's no point in audience, because the audience related to the real person. Like Amanda, they relate with you. And Grant, they will relate with your story. I don't know what you guys think, but that's what I always tell my clients, that because for somebody to register, I have to go to their own home. And sometimes they tell me what they think I want to hear. I'm like, I will sit there and quiet. And this person will be like, Nomsa, why are you quiet? I'm like, I'm waiting for the real you. That humbled person that has gone through struggles, that is saying enough is enough. Like, Nomsa, I've had enough. I don't know. I just need to do the right thing. I don't want somebody to tell me that, like you tell me that you have this, you have that, or maybe blaming somebody. I just want the real you. Just talk to me as you. And that person, you'll find that person, when they start being them, there is more to them that is attractive. I don't know about you, Grant, whether you met women who pretend to be something they're not. Amanda, if you've gone to the guys and met the guys that they just want to lure you for the wrong reasons. What do you guys?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people, and they're coming from fear. And again, I have to say this: media can be a terrible thing, because it shows us, images of what we should be in the media's eyes, what we're expected to be. I'm going to put this out there: butt lifts. What's going on with butt lifts? I'm seeing an alarming rise in people having butt lifts, implants in their butts. It just came to my mind, and you're I'm just going to put that out there, and I'm like, what's going on? And people are looking, let's say, disproportionate. And what is that? It's all because they want to be embraced by other people. They want to be taken in. I get the fact it makes them feel better. I kind of understand that. It's like everything. I don't think anything in isolation is bad. It's just the extent and how well it goes. But you're getting to see these things, and like, boob implants. It's just become so commonplace now. It's like a tattoo. It's like, it's normal for most people, and it's like, and the insanity of going to the gym consistently. I have to question that a little bit, because you're going to be doing that when you're 70, 80, 90. Really? I don't think so. So what are you doing it for? It's a short-term thing. It's not sustainable. I'm about sustainability. I'm looking at that, and I'm not criticizing anyone for having a boob lift, a butt implant, or even going to the gym. I'm not at all. But what I'm thinking is, what are you thinking? What are you thinking this means to the world? What does it mean on the outside? I'm going to put that as a slightly controversial subject to see what people think about that. Because are you doing it for the approval of other people? And be honest with yourselves. Because if you are, then you're not truly comfortable with yourself. If you are truly comfortable with yourself, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care. It's not about it. And here's the thing, that it attracts being your true self. True, some people may not like it, but the right people will love it. You can save yourself a lot of time, a lot of anguish, a lot of heartache, and money, actually, by being the congruent person. You'll probably live longer. You'll live a happier life, a more fulfilled life. You'll touch more people's lives around you by being who you really are. Again, as long as you've got no terrible habits, or if you have, yeah, you do want to work on those. I'd agree with that. But if you're a good person, things are doing well, be congruent, because the benefits are tenfold. Then you find you wouldn't really need to have a butt lift, wouldn't need a boob lift. You wouldn't need any of these things if you're just congruent to yourself. And you will be happier at the end of the day. Love to explore it. Again, if people do any of these things in isolation, I don't think that's bad. I just question, why are you doing it? And that's the question for yourself. If you say it makes you feel better, and it really does, and you're doing it for yourself and not for other people, that's fine. But just be honest. And that's what I wanted to say. Amanda, I'm not going to ask you that, but like, what's your view?
Well, I do. I think I will be going to the gym at 70 years old because I love it, because it makes me feel better.
Good.
So I was
good. Okay, well, that's good. That's
but
good.
I think too that like it doesn't necessarily have to be the gym, but something that you love to do that makes you feel better. And I like that you added that piece in afterwards, because I think that's really important. And then I was thinking to the people that I know who've had boob jobs, and like I have quite a few friends who have, but they got them after they had kids, just to put them back to where they were.
All right. Okay.
And I'm like,
right.
Okay, that makes sense, right? Like I can understand why, because they're like, my kids destroyed them. So I just needed them fixed to where they were before. And I completely understand that, right? Like, but I know where you're coming from too, in that, are you doing it because you want to look like this or this or this, and you think that's going to make you feel better? Or are you doing it authentically for yourself?
Yeah.
And I think for my friend's sake, because they're just like, I just wanted them fixed to where they were doing that just to feel like they felt before they had kids. And I think that's okay, because sometimes we lose ourselves a little bit when we have children and we start pouring everything into them, and that can be part of our identity and who we are as we become parents. But also you still need to have that inner art of knowing who you are and not getting completely lost in that new role that you have too. And I think that's like this really interesting stage for parents to have, was when you become a new parent, is where do I end and where does my kid begin, and where does my kid end and where do I begin, is kind of like, that was something hard for me when I first became a mom. I was like doing my master's, and I had I was teaching full time, and I had all of these things. And then it was like, okay, you have a baby and you stay home for a year. And it was like, okay, everything in my world changed. I couldn't even go to the grocery store by myself anymore. And so just learning how to navigate new stages of your life and redefining yourself in those stages, because even though you're being authentically yourself, you still need to redefine yourself as certain life points happen, right? And so finding that balance of me time and family time, and those time to learn and grow and continue to be on that growth path. And I like what you said about picking things that feel truly aligned with yourself. So if going to the gym isn't aligned with you, then that's not something you're going to be doing at 70, but maybe going for a walk every day is. My grandma used to walk every day until she fell and broke her hip, and at like 70 or 80, she lived till like 97, so it was like 80 something. She would walk every day, like probably like 5 kilometers. And so those are things you just need to think about, like, what is it that you love to do, and do those things, and not do them because somebody else is. And it's so funny when people start doing things just because that new partner does them, right? Like
Yeah,
I had
exactly
that
my point. Yeah.
experience where like I love to hike, and then I meet people and they say, "Oh, I love to hike too," and then they like hike because of you, right? Because of me. Or like I love to ski and snowboard, and then they like haven't been in like 10 years, but they say snowboard. You don't ski and snowboard. You ski and snowboard if you go like 5 to 10 times a year or plus more than that, right? Because I tend to get out at least 10 times a year, which is like you need to be true to yourself. Like that was something I started to say to people when I was dating, was like, okay, you ski and snowboard. When's the last time you've been? Oh, 5 years ago. No, you don't actually ski or snowboard. I go that many times I go like 10 times in a year. So if you can't keep up, then we're not a good match. And I think that knowing that within yourself is something that's really important too, is because if you are like, oh, like I could accept this person because of this and this, and it's like, no, I want somebody that wants to ski with me. So not settling for something that you don't want too, right? And so knowing that piece of yourself as to what it is that you want in your life is something that's really important when you are stepping into that power of who you are and what it is that you want in your life. And sometimes it's just, I'm okay to just be alone, right? So often we're seeking something outside ourselves, and really what we need to learn is what's within. And when we find that inner peace, that art of being ourselves, untrue, authentic selves, that's when we're going to find somebody, the perfect person for ourselves, out of the blue, even when we're not searching for it, when we're working on our inner selves. That's really where our power comes from, is that inner work. Grant, you
Absolutely.
have something to say, so I'm gonna just stop there. That inner.
It's just what you're saying about when people are just like, you know, pretending to like, I don't know, skiing or something. You can see it. You can see it. And I remember watching a documentary once, and it was about a couple who were in personal development, of all things. And there's a couple, and the lady was really leading the show, you know, and she had this sort of weird routine that she did around the house, sort of like a skipping around the house thing. And the husband was following her. And I'm thinking, if he was on his own, there was no way he would be doing that. I can promise you. He was eating all the healthy juices. And I looked at the guy, I thought, that's not you, is it? It's not really you. You wouldn't skip around the house if she went on a holiday. I bet you stopped the skipping. And I was like, you're along for the ride. And I felt sorry for him because he was on TV. Everyone saw it, and I was like, I can just see right through this. This is crap. You know, this is not who you really are. It's fine if she does it. He could have an alternative thing that he does. It's okay to do that. I was at a health conference I was running recently. I was hosting a health conference, and obviously you know about it. I was mentioning it to you. And basically, it was a guy who was talking about, you know, diabetes prevention and management, etc. And he was saying, you know, people say, you know, control your diet, you know, and get exercise. He says, stop calling it exercise. Because if you say exercise, what do you think of? And people are like, go to the gym. Said, exactly. Some people love going to the gym. Some people don't. He said, just physical activity. He said, gardening is physical activity. He was saying all these things. He said, you know, just walking upstairs, getting off your rear end, he said, just walking up the stairs rather than a lift or an elevator. That's physical activity. Just keep moving, keep doing things. And it's true, you know, we use these catchphrases. And in the professional world, there's so many catchphrases. I used to be in the world of management, and you know, I knew all these lovely, clever sounding management phrases 20, 30 years ago. I don't know any of them now. I don't care because it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean the action. You still do the actions, you can still manage teams, still manage these things, but without all the egotistical acronyms. But yeah, the world is full of that. We get these catchphrases and we use them. And I'm like, why? And it's misleading. Language is very powerful. You know, as an NLP trainer and a hypnotherapy trainer, I know the power of language, and misusing it can be a very dangerous thing. Quite often with the modern parlance, we misuse words. Effectively, we use them an awful lot. And when we misuse them, we're misguiding people and ourselves. So, as I said, physical activity, not necessarily exercise, unless you want to do exercise. Again, being comfortable to be yourself. Momsa, do you find this? People who are pretending to be something they're not comfortable. And I mean, it's okay to sit there. We're not making fun of them because there's a lot of pressure on people to be like that. Do you recognize it? How's it come about? What can we do about it?
It's the lack of confidence, Grant. People do that all the time, and they're not aware of it as well. And I think I used to do that as well. Sometimes I will be like, you make plans, like with my ex, we'll make plans. And if we get invited by a family member, then it will drop all the plans and then it go just because we didn't want to offend anyone. We used to do that. Or sometimes people will invite us and say, come along. And if we know that we have nothing in common with these people, we'll just go and be frustrated. But I don't do that anymore. So I think it's the lack of confidence and people not really understanding that you don't have to please anyone in order to hang out with that person. And like Amanda, you're saying your friend pretending to be liking skiing, but they don't like it really. And people do that all the time. I always say to my friends, I rather you tell me that, Nomsa, I don't like to do this, for me to go and do it myself instead of the frustration you pretending that you want to do it if you don't. It's not really. And also now I tell my friend straight away, I'm like, I'm doing this, but you're not coming with me because you don't like doing it. So I'll meet you on the other side. You go and do your thing, I'll go and do my thing, and then we'll meet halfway. And it's like here in the house, my children and their dad, you cannot say, come and do things with me if you know that they don't like it. Like Martin, he likes crazy things. He likes skydiving. And for me to fall off the plane, skydiving, that's too much. I go and watch though when he goes skydiving. I just go there. But I think I'm beginning to wanting to try because when I talk to people, when he goes off, they say how amazing it is, and you get to meet people. And some they go around the world. Like I'm like, this sounds it sounds good, but the sound of coming down. It's okay when I'm doing training with somebody, but if I have to do it on my own, that looks scary. So I'm still debating in my heart with that part. But I'm okay to go and take my book or take the kids when he goes diving, and then we just sit there, we wait for him when he comes back. But I'm not going to pretend that I like diving or I don't like heights. I don't mind them. But I feel I shouldn't have to crucify myself and go to the heights if I don't want it. So those part of things, even them, even like him, they will be like, you're doing this and we don't like it. We're not coming. I don't feel offended because I know they don't. So for them to come. But when I used to, like with my ex used to come with everything that I do. I felt sorry for him once we went and watched wrestling. He doesn't like wrestling. And the people that watch wrestling, they are crazy, Grant. I don't know whether you've seen it, you've gone live. It's like a football. When you go live football, you got to be crazy. When you watch it, you got to shout, you got to scream. If you don't do that, everybody will be like, what's wrong with him? So it's like when he went, he was like, these people are crazy, but I like it. They are so happy. And you're mad. We were like so crazy, like screaming, and like, it was like, oh my goodness, that is scary. But I like it because you both look so happy. It's just sometimes you don't have to pretend to be something. I know when we watch social media, even with my children as well, I always tell them that you don't have to put the character that you're not, because at the end of the day, the frustration if you're doing things that you don't like to do, the frustration, and also you're not living fully the life that you really want. I just do my own things, like things. My life is crazy sometimes, but I just go and do it. And my family, they are happy. Like, it's like we are in the group where once we had a family group. And my family, like, they like to, like people, families, they like to pretend to have to be something that they're not. And so I put something on the group, and somebody said, "You shouldn't put that." So I was like, "Why shouldn't I put that?" I don't know, I was going through something, and just put I wasn't okay, but I was okay, just wanting to test them, because trying to help them to actually open up. I don't know if you guys know, different cultures, they don't really like to open up. They pretend to be something they're not. Like if you go to African cultures, or like people who are in United Kingdom, when they go back to their countries where they come from, you find that here they're driving like normal cars. When they go back, they will go to the bank, hire a car, maybe for 20,000. They'll hire a car, they'll borrow 20,000 and go home and hire luxury life. And they're borrowing loan to go home and have a luxury life. And I said to my friend, we were talking with my friend, and I was like, I will never do that, because when I come back, I have to pay back the loan. And also when we were with a meeting with Sai 2 weeks ago, and he said, as a coach, I went through so much, guys. He was like, when he was struggling, starting as a coach, he would look at somebody else's life and he was like, why am I not living this life? But these coaches, he said in the end, he started realizing that they are hiring cars, hiring private jet to actually post on social media. By him, he didn't know that game. So he was getting frustrated until he met his coach, and his coach said, you do realize that this coach is not their lifestyle. They hire to post so that they can get clients. And the coach, he actually helped him. And then he said the minute he decided to focus on working hard, showing the clients how he can change their lives for real, not by posting with nice cars and stuff. He said his business just took off. He said he was he's the best, one of the best coaches. He was like, the minute I realized the secret that I needed to be me, I didn't need to look at anybody else. And what I've noticed as well, what he was saying when I started my business, people were telling me what I should post. If I post something on Facebook, they will come and say, no, sir, that's not how you post. You should post like this, like the social media market, like social media people who looks after social medias. And I'll be like, but I'm just being me. I'm posting what I do. This is what I do for work. If somebody wants to find love, this is what they need to do. I can lie. I can't go and drive a nice car and say to people, because that would be the wrong impression. I just post a video or a nice photo, and what matters is the content. If people can relate, if I post exactly what I'm doing, that's good to go. And sometimes the audience will come and say, no, sir, I relate to you. And they're like, if we don't see your post, we look for them. We're like, what is going on? Where is she? Because I just don't post what people want to hear. I post my heart. I just post the challenges that I face in life. I don't know about you guys, and the actually how to get rid of those challenges so that somebody can learn from everything. It's like when Carol Ann, you guys, I'm sure you realize when Carol Ann was sick, I was really, really hurt, because she was actually there for me when I was homeless. she was the person that I was like telling everything. I was like, and she will come to me on Zoom and say, do you think is something to do with ancestors? And I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, we have always had everything at home, but we've never really been homeless. And she was like, what is the hold? What is the blockage? You have the money, but what is the blockage? So she was somebody that was there every step of the way. And that's why I was like, you really had to like, God, why do you want to take it away from me? Because, and like you guys, every single day, if anything was to happen to you, I'll be really, really hard because like Amanda, how long have you been here? I think we started 2000 during lockdown, right? You've been here since lockdown. And that is really, to me, if somebody was to say authentic person, that would be authentic person. You guys are authentic. You started this thing with me when it was nothing. Yesterday, I was filling the forms for YouTube and Edwards. They wanted me to send the certificate for the company and on Gossip Talk shows and everything, so that they can actually, when everything, they are processing the payment and everything, they've got everything on the record. So I was like, this story began with these people. I began this journey with these people. And to me, if anyone comes to me and say, what does authentic mean? I would just put you guys as an example that being authentic, it means this is who we are, and we are willing to cry with you. We are willing to walk with you, regardless of whatever. To me, that is authentic. You guys are serving clients for real. And if there is any clients out there who actually struggling to work with people that can just walk with them unapologetic, I just recommend you guys, because that, to me, that is authentic. That's what that you guys don't understand what you guys are. That is, to me, that is authentic. I've seen people coming at Ngozi Talk Show, but you can see that they're looking for fame. They're not really looking to save the audience, the clients. When it's different, it's like when you speak, like, I don't know if you follow Shanda. Shanda says, whatever you do in life, you have to be authentic if you are a coach. And when you're authentic, the audience will relate to you. So I think that is really, really important. So guys, I don't know if anyone is watching right now and they're like, but being authentic is like putting yourself, like, there are some people who live the life pretend to be something they're not, because they think, oh, if I post this on Facebook, like doing this, and everybody's gonna like me and stuff. What advice can you give people like that who are not authentic, who just believe that people believe what they see, and it's okay?
I think sometimes you just have to like sit with yourself and sit with what is it that you truly like to do. Like, you think back to what I talked about a little bit with dating, and like, so golf is something that lots of people in Canada like to do, and I'm not very good at golf. I like it. I wouldn't say that I'm a golfer, but when people are like, oh, do you golf? I'll be like, define golf. If you mean golf as in like I can pick the ball up and throw it or kick it back onto the fairway and I don't have to keep score, I golf. If you mean like I go every week and I like practice, no. But if I'm allowed to, like, if you want to teach me, sure, I'd love to learn. But I don't golf in like the respect that people think of. Like, golfing is a very wide range. Like, there's people who just sort of dabble in it, go once or twice a year. That's me. Or there's people who are very like, I golf every week and I go, or even some people golf every day. And so there's a wide range of golf. And I'll be like, define it for me. What is it you mean by it? Because I golf in a very loose term. Yes. I wouldn't just come out and say, yeah, I golf. Let's
So
go.
it's golf on Amanda's terms, right? Golf on Amanda's
I'm
terms.
very open and honest about my golfing skills. I will come with you. I might embarrass you, but I will come with you.
You know what? It could be a new business idea. It could be Golf Amanda.
Golf with Amanda.
Well, we're just gonna have fun. We're not
So,
gonna take it seriously.
all those
We're
people like,
going
yeah,
on golf
Amanda,
with
that's
Amanda
exactly where
Cotel. And
Do not take any of my pro tips.
I am.
But
Oh
that's
my
being
goodness.
authentic, right? And so it's like I can say, like, tell me what you were expecting in this situation. Because, and I think a lot of times too, people, those are the things that we need to talk about. If we are being our authentic selves in business, we need to be like, what is it that I'm working for? What is it that, and I was talking to my daughter about something the other day, and I said, I put a quote out, and I said, how you do anything is how you do everything. And because she's trying out for a club volleyball team. And I said, if you like half-ass everything, then try out really hard at volleyball, that half-assing of other things is going to show up in your volleyball practice. So
Yeah.
whatever it is you do, you need to come and do your best ever in most things, right? Like I tell parents sometimes, they're like, I want my kid to put 100% effort into anything. And as a teacher, I'm like, do you put 100% effort into
Question. Yeah.
And then they just look at me and I'm like, okay, we gotta pick and choose here a little
but to
bit.
be realistic,
Be realistic,
expectations.
but also like let's strive to put a really good effort into things that are important to us. And because how you do anything is how you do everything. And I think that that quote, it sticks with me, but I struggle with it a little bit, because I think too, like, you need to put the majority of your effort into those things that you really truly love, and those things that you're completely passionate about, because that's your driver, right? And when you're authentically yourself, you know what your passionate driver is. And that's where we want to be. We want to fuel that fire of the thing that you're most passionate about. Will I ever be passionate about golf? No, but I'll go out and have fun doing it. So I'm not going to put all of my effort into that area, but I'm going to put it into other areas that I am truly passionate about, because that's us standing in my authentic power, right? So we need to really think about what it is that you want to show up and show that passionate power for, because that's where you're standing in your authentic power. But I know we're getting we're close to time, and I just wanted to say I loved our conversation, because this brings up a lot of good laughs too about like what it is of how we show up in things, and how we sometimes have to laugh at ourselves for how we show up in certain situations, and that's okay. We have to bring humor to things, because some things about life are funny and it's good. And so we need to really just stand in that power of authentically you, and know who you are. And sometimes knowing who you are is a journey, because it changes at different stages of your life too. So that's what I have to say on the topic. I love the topic. Thank you, Grant, because it's like you said, you could tell that person at the event that you were hosting was just unapologetically themselves. And I hope that whoever's listening can stand up and be unapologetically themselves today.
I hope so, because you just triggered my memory of one of the first people that I ever coached. Was a guy who was like that, and he got more success than anyone. I coached him hard, and he had no ego. He pushed me hard, and I did. And he was broke. He was broke, and he borrowed money of his own volition. Coach me said, "It's all going anyway. The way it's all going. I may as well have a chance with you, but push me hard." And I did. He had no ego. He implemented immediately and got a 4,000% return on investment in 4 weeks. He didn't even finish the program. I said, "Do you want it down? It's fine. I've got one of it." And he goes on to do a fantastic thing. And that was him. And he was very much like that. Completely comfortable with his skin. Comfortable enough to say, "I'm screwed. I need help. Can you help me?" Yeah, literally. And that's the benefits of it.
That's power, though, to be able to be like, I need help.
Yeah,
So often our egos won't let us say we need help.
you got
And
it. You got it.
that's something that I think is really, really powerful. And that is why he probably became so successful, is because he was able to stand in that power of saying, I'm screwed, I need help.
Yeah, and that was it. And power to him. I mean, I hold him in massive respect, huge respect for that guy, and he had that same trait. So it's a great thing. So we spoke about, what it is, and there can be various reasons behind it. It can be the way you've been brought up. It can be because you've been ridiculed in the past. It can be cultural. It can be vindication from governments where you've been in whichever countries. It can be all of these things can cause it. Of course, if you're brought up in a school where there's a very strong clique, or workplace there's a strong clique, can be a result of bullying. All of these things. So they're all valid reasons why people can want to run with a crowd. And we have a human instinct to run with a crowd. There's deep psychological reasons why we'd want to do it. And to an extent, it's healthy. To an extent, it isn't. If you want to understand more, you want to know how to do that and how to get out of it and be in your power, in your true power, and not be a follower, but to be a leader. Without wanting to be assertive, you just lead naturally because you're magnetic. If you want to know more about that, we can help you. We can help you. Just reach out. I know if you're listening there on social media, if that means something to you or to somebody you know and they want to reach out to us, reach out, because we can help you. Because once you become like that, trust me, there's never a shortage of opportunities. The only biggest problem you have then is learning how to say no, because you have so many. Nomsa, over to you.
Just for me, guys, what I'll leave you with is be authentic, because we live in this world where everybody wants to agree with everybody, and they want to friendship. If you want to be friends with somebody, or you want to be in the group, or whether it's a business network or anywhere, you don't have to change your character. You can work on your character for growth, but you don't have to pretend to be something that you are not. There is always going to be your own network that basically that will accept you for who you are. And also when it comes to our own character, our image, what we wear, the things that we do, speak your own language. When you are actually like posting on social media, let people meet the real you. Or if you're, whatever you do in life, like Grant says, why do you go to the gym? For me personally, I'm a matchmaker. So if I go to the gym, I go to the gym to snoop around. I'm looking for clients. That's what I do. If I go to the pub sometimes with the rich people, I don't drink, I don't do anything. I just dress up. I'm looking for clients. So all those things you can do, and ask yourself the things that you do, why do you do things that you do? And you realize that actually you give yourself freedom, not becoming a follower. Once the follower once, if it causes frustration, depression, anxiety. But when you actually unapologetic living your own life, it's so beautiful, really, really so beautiful. And even with my family know that unapologetic me, I live my own life. And not sure somebody saw my post with my granddad on Facebook. I'm just proud of who I am. I just love my life. And my granddad is the one that taught me to be on stage today from a very young age. And when everybody talks and stuff, I'm like, just be you. You don't have to be pretending to be something that you're not. You're authentic. I win every award that I win because I'm just being me. Honestly, I think some of people, they recommended me to that award. And when I asked the woman, why did she select me? She said, actually, it's your friends behind your back that actually helped you to win the award, and your clients. And I didn't know anything about it. And every every time when I speak to them, they're like, when we go on your YouTube channel, Nomsa, it's just you, the character, everything, the people, when you guys speak, it's just you. When we go to your social media, it's just your character is just bonkers. You just watch it. Sometimes they're like, sometimes I spend hours scrolling. Like this guy was like, I love your Instagram. It's just bonkers. I was like, that's just me. You don't have to pretend to be something you're not, which is you can go on the website, www.hseia.com, and register. If you need matchmaking, you can register on the form through matchmaking. If you need coaching, you can go and register for coaching as well. And if you want to get in touch with us, Amanda, if you want to get in touch with Amanda, you can get in touch with her on her social media, and Grant as well on his social media. And you can get in touch with him through my social media as well by contacting me. If he doesn't reply, I'll get in touch with him straight away. So live with grace, everyone, and God bless.